Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am your humble host, Mr. David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. And it is now Sunday morning, March the 31st. And I'm doing this video as a eyewitness report of a meteor type. Wow, is it bright white? I greet you with love and honor of the infinite creator, and I hope all of you all are doing well. Was outside feeding a fire, doing some cleanup around my house, and actually had a little bit of energy, and was outside and taking the cats something to eat late because they were just bothering me. And when I look out my south, looking that direction, which is out the south of my house, a lot of windows. I've talked about the passive solar house that I have here many times. In other videos, you've seen the south side of my house, mostly windows. But anyway, I saw this thing in which would be, if south is straight ahead where I'm pointing, it was this way. Okay. So it was about 15 degrees off. It wasn't southwest. It was more south by southwest. And so this thing, at first, it caught my eye, and I live down at the bottom of this hill. And sometimes there are people who live up the hill. If they have their brights on or a big light, I can actually see the lights in through the trees out in front of me. And at first, it was so bright, it lit up the sky. I mean, like daylight. And for an instant, I thought, somebody's got a great big searchlight up on the hill, but I didn't hear a vehicle. But as soon as the flash caught me, I looked up. This thing was close to daylight. When I filled out the meteor report for a fireball, it didn't last a long time, but the flash literally lit up the whole sky. I couldn't see any stars. It lit up so brightly. And so it's just happened about 30 minutes ago now. And from my position, it looked like it would have been to the west of Jacksonville from my position here and looking that direction. But oh my goodness, I've seen some very bright fireballs and so forth. But this thing, I put in the report for brightness, I said that it's one of the 5 brightest that I've ever seen. And that's not a lie. It might be like this 3rd brightest, but I didn't want to be too, stretch the truth too much in that. But it was like nothing I can remember. It may be the brightest thing I've seen, but I've seen a couple of large explosions in the sky at night. But this thing, the whole south side of it lit up and up over almost overhead. Pamela, hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm not keeping you updated as much as I'd like to, Pamela. I've had some things going on here. I've got someone who's been in need of some help, and they've been staying not in my house, but here on the property. And oh my goodness, don't want to get into it here, but it has really been knocking my time, my spirit, and it's really been testing some of my own shamanic teachings, learnings, etc. But anyway, tonight was out there, cleaning up, having a fire, just watching the stars and thanking the good Lord that they hadn't chemtrailed too badly tonight. Last night, you couldn't see a star till early morning. But anyway, but tonight, but whatever. And to me, I was outside, and I get these little, hey, why don't you go outside and look at the sky kind of deals. And I was noticing that my UFO that I normally see due south of me, I saw him a couple of nights ago, and I was going to report on it, and some other things happened. And I thought, well, I'll just keep an eye out, see where he shows up. Well, tonight it was over here, and I really wasn't looking. Every time I walk out my back door, I'm looking at the sky. So it's like, okay, what's out there? Well, tonight I got this little tap on the shoulder. Look over here through the trees, it's really hard to see stuff. And there was my little friend. It's almost triangular. It alters colors, and it just like this little triangle. Sometimes it's 1, 2, 3, and sometimes it goes 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, and it's not an airplane, because I sat there and watched it for several minutes, and I could only see it between a couple of the pine trees just right. So if I moved my head a little left or right, it was hidden behind a tree. So I just stood in one spot, and it didn't move, and it was a narrow viewpoint. So while I'm watching this thing, the UFO over here, which would be towards like Tallahassee, Panama City, from where my location is, all of it, I'm just looking slightly to my right, and then boom, this bright light, and it was as fast as me looking slightly to my left, and I was already facing south. So, and then I see, and it was at least at 65 degrees, lit up the sky. I mean, lit it up, and then turned. It was sort of a green, and then it sort of turned red, and then just disappeared. A little bit above the horizon, but not much. About 12 degrees is what I put in the report. But I quite frankly, it was the wrong color. And the tap on the shoulder I got to look at the ET UFO down here, they were like, "Oh, see," and my question was that you guys? And it was like, "Yep, that was we just knocked something out of the sky. You just witnessed an explosion. That wasn't a meteor." And the reason I say that is because I've seen meteors come in. This went whoosh, and then like, whoops, something fell out of the sky deal. It didn't come in flash, and then no, it went boom, and no explosion, no sound. But I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen anything that bright. It was brighter than the full moon, much brighter, much brighter. And think the clearest night you could. Oh, it would have been brighter than the moon. But anyway, so it's like, goodness gracious. And I'm always keeping an eye on the skies. I was down in the swamp yesterday, and just a guy came by and said, "Hey, want to go to the river?" And I was like, "Okay." And down to the river we went and spent the day down there. And I was very disappointed. John, hello, how are you? I was very disappointed in that we stayed until after dark, and it's a beautiful wide section in the Ochlockonee River, and it's like a lake. It looks like a lake, goes down and around and stuff, and looks like a lake. But it's attached in a couple of places, especially when the water's up, to the main river, to the main Ochlockonee River. But out there sitting on the beach, man, just a couple of skeeters, maybe 76, 78 degrees, and the temp's going down, sitting out there, and they chemtrailed the sky so bad couldn't see a star or one. And when it is clear, like tonight, I should go down there. It's like 15 miles south of me, but oh my goodness, how clear it is in the sky. But now tonight, just sitting here at the house and watching my little UFO friend over. He's more west of Tallahassee than I normally see it, but it was very bright, very clear, and stayed in the same spot at least 4 to 5 minutes. And it was while watching the UFO that this other thing blew up in the sky. Just saying, brightest thing I've ever seen. Could it have been a meteor? Yeah. And why do I think it may not have been? It's because of the way the colors were. It almost looked like, how do I put this? It looked like it was a gas plume behind it. It wasn't like fragments coming off. There were fragments, but it seemed like it was a greenish, and then turned reddish before it popped out of view, and it was almost to the horizon. But that it looked like a vapor trail, if you will. It didn't just come straight in. No, this thing was like and then tapered down, much like, well, in some movies, and you see planes and wrecks and stuff, but it just didn't seem like the normal meteor trail that I have witnessed over my lifetime. And the wrong kind of colors, kind of thing too. But so this just happened. If I had been sitting here looking out my window that I'm doing right now, it would have lit up all my windows. But I was standing just outside the windows when it happened. So I'm basically doing this video just kind of on the fly. But I wanted to do a timestamp kind of thing. You know, that it was, you know, near Jacksonville, kind of North Florida, where I was looking, and how bright it was. It was, I came in after just a few minutes because I wanted to see if there was anything else out there. And I put down that it was about 11:50. It could have been 11:51, 11:52, but the clock said on here on my computer 11:55. So it was only a couple of minutes that I was outside. So I put 11:50 down for the time of the incident. But it could have been 11:51 or 2, but not beyond that. So anyway, but if you hear of anything or whatever, you know, if anybody says there wasn't any sound, that was why I stayed outside for a couple of minutes to see if there was going to be any boom or any sound or whatever. Nothing. But and it started in way high up. It's almost like it came in like at us. It didn't come streaking down, but at about 70 degrees above the horizon is when the first pop came in. And then it was really bright, and then the green trailed down towards the ground. Anyway, and it just didn't seem like a normal fireball. The trail was vaporish, I guess. Very bright all the way down, but it didn't go across the scar. It was easy for you to say. It didn't go across the sky. It came straight, almost straight down, maybe at a 5-degree angle. And what's down over that direction from where I'm looking? There's like Lake City, Florida, Jacksonville, but this would have been to the west of Jacksonville. From where I'm sitting, Jacksonville's a little further east from where this thing came in. But anyway, and just discussing, wonder what was up there. Wonder whatever was going on, because a couple of years ago I saw one spaceship shoot down another, and it was kind of sort of in the same realm. It was had gone straight overhead, and then it got blowed up, and both of them disappeared. That was just craziness. And then tonight, you know, I get a little tap on the shoulder. Hawkeye, go outside and look at the sky. I was like, well, okay, you know, UFO. Oh, my friend's back. Hi, how are you? And then the thing, interesting. So there are interesting times about been looking at the Schumann, and it hasn't been freaking out, but the intensity of the background noise of the Schumann resonance has been in the green, where it's usually in the black or the blue or the, you know, it hasn't been freaking out and going white out on us. But the amount of background frequency has been steady, and it has been obviously more intense than normal. Now, not off the charts, but it's there. So in my little wanderings around and so forth, they told me that this was sort of a precursor. We should get another good smack for several hours, if not a whole day, like it happened a few months. It's been about a month ago now, 3 weeks anyway. But But to that point, though, in watching the skies, and I'll give a little Earth wobble update too. Several nights ago, when I was down on the river, I get a better view of the horizon, and I noticed that Orion was back up where it should be. And then, in speaking with a friend of mine just the other day, I was like, "Well, I just came in and checked, and it was about 10 o'clock at night, 9:30, and I was like, Orion's in the wrong spot again. Just saying." So they're discussing about how the magnetics of the Earth are changing, how they're actually splitting, and I can kind of see that. And they want to say, "Well, it's this, that, and the other thing." Well, if you will just keep an eye on where the stars are when you can see them and where the moon is, like for example, at full moon, moon was straight overhead, beautiful, right where it's supposed to be. The other night, it's 35, 40 degrees south in the sky. And I can now look it through this window over here without even looking up. It's like, whoa, crap, there's the moon. Well, that's wrong spot. And it usually takes longer for that to happen. But what I can say is that about every week to 10 days, we reach this wobble where we go down and then we kind of get slung back up. Because if it were just the moon moving, then Orion and the dog star Sirius and all these other constellations wouldn't be moving around. But in my observations, oh yeah, Orion's here one night, and you go out the same time next night, and it's up here. Then you go out 3 nights later, clouds, chemtrails, it's back down here. So I dare say that the entire constellations above our head are what's moving around. You know what I'm saying? And so they've upped their ante about the Earth wobble and so forth. Now, I was one of the channels that I subscribe to is Wire I Read, and he does short videos. Hi, Greg, how are you? You seen one? Where are you? I'm in South Georgia. Greg H. And about 45 miles north of the border in South Georgia. I live out in the country. But anyway, but the Earth wobble update and so forth, I was watching the LASCO C2, I think it was, the blue one. And I used to like try to catch it every day, but I was seeing so many spaceships showing up on the things. I was like, oh yeah, are they out there? Well, in this last one here, which is just a couple of days ago, on the LASCO one, boy, howdy, the people that try to say, those are comets. What? How come we don't see them then? You know, these are huge comets swinging by through the atmosphere. I mean, through our solar system. How come none of our other instruments are picking it up? But boy, howdy, you can see them things going by the sun. And they're in groups of 3, 4. There was one group that looked like a chevron. Okay, they're stars. No, they're not. They show up here, then the next frame, they're way over here, and then in the next frame, they're gone. And they stay in the same pattern. Now, what are those exactly, my friends? Can you say UFO? Yes, those are our space brothers. And in one of the frames, it literally looks like 2 of them are attacking each other. I was like, whoa, this, you know, the war in the heavens has really been obvious and very strong. And then tonight, a little later on, I see this great big bright white light and I go, oh, holy crap. There is lots of stuff going on above our heads. So whether or not you want to believe in ET or not, all you got to do is look at the LASCO images. Watch those stars fly by. Watch that. Some of them actually look like the Starship Enterprise. The one that I watched earlier this evening, I mean, there were like 4 different, there was one here, and then it looked like the Enterprise, and then it moved over in this frame, and then it was gone. Then one came in from up here and was clear in the thing, and it's like, you're trying to tell me that that's some kind of an asteroid that's that bright? Do you understand how big that is? Because if you look at how big the Earth is in the LASCO field of vision, the Earth is like this big, and you see these things screaming by the sun, obviously bigger than the Earth, and you're going, oh well, that's just that's an asteroid the size of Earth. Well, what about the stories then of the motherships out there? I would say that if you keep an eye on the skies, keep an eye on those satellites. They're showing us things that most people just don't want to believe. And the one tonight was just absolutely so bright white. And again, it was the tail. I'm 66 and I've been watching the stars forever. I've lived out here in the country, and every night is a holiday for me because I get to watch the stars. My point to that is, tonight I don't think that was a meteor. Just saying. That's my personal point of view. Greg, okay, thanks. You're in Sarasota. I used to live down near Sarasota, Greg. I have 3 other reports of the event tonight. Did you see it? If you're in Sarasota, it would have been to your northeast from Sarasota. It was to my southwest, Greg. So if you witnessed it, you would have been looking northeast. Yeah. From Sarasota, at least northeast. Yeah. Did you see it? You did see it. Wow. How did it look from your end? Because it was was it as bright as I said it was? I mean, it's like the brightest thing I thought I've ever seen. Did you see any fragments come down? Did you see green trails, red, or what did it look like from your point of view? I'm curious. Green, hit the clouds up green. I didn't have any pictures. I was just outside looking at the sky, and it's one of those things that, man, I wished I had a nanny cam or something pointed outside at the sky. But it looked like it fell straight down from my point of view, Greg. That's the way it looked to me. It didn't streak any particular way from my direction. It just, it was up here. It came almost straight down. I wished I had a picture of that thing. I swear to God, it's so dark down here where I live. I thought the neighbors had the searchlight on up there. They'll turn on their tractors and stuff. And because they're up the hill, when they turn a certain direction towards my house, it looks like a big searchlight. But this thing was even bigger than that. But at the first glimpse of it, I was like, that ain't no headlight. Hawkeye, you need a Zoom so you can have guests. Yeah, I need to try to do I can't afford Zoom. I just can't. And this little tiny computer, it has issues with itself. However, I have went back through my YouTube, and I think I can do YouTube. I've just had some personal things going on here at the property, taking care of a handicapped person that he set himself on fire the other day. Set himself on fire. It's been strange, and the energy's attached. I'd rather not go into it. It's not the place. Joseph, how are you? I'm in Orlando, and wait, I forgot I do have my glasses down here. I'm in Orlando, and it straight down. It was green as hell and fast. I thought a meteor hit it. Scared the hell out of me. Good. You saw, not good that it scared the hell out of you, but good that somebody else. Yep, you saw it. Greg, you saw it. It went straight down. Yeah, it didn't last a long time, but boy howdy, did you, Joseph, by any chance, did you, was there any sound? And was it north of you or a little northeast? Just curious, because now we sort of got a triangulation. I'm up here in South Georgia. Greg's near Sarasota, and you're over near Orlando. So we got a little bit of a triangulation going here. But it lasted a few seconds. Oh, and you did hear a loud boom, a boom. Oh, it looked like it should have made a boom. I mean, I've seen some things before, and in my own personal belief, I do believe it was space junk, not a meteor. Now tonight, it was one of those nights that it was the color of the green and how fast it went down. But anyway, in compared to some of the other things, regardless of UFO or meteor or not, it looked like it was over the Gulf. Oh, see, now from here, it looked like it would have been dang near over the uh, Atlantic, Joseph. Because if I look due south, I'm looking at the Gulf and the Panhandle of Florida. But the way I was looking this direction, it would have been near Lake City, Florida, Ocala. It would have been in that direction from my point of view. Yeah, it sounded like it might have been closer to wait. Yeah, Greg, you didn't hear a sound, but Joseph, you did. Oh, hello, Tamara. You saw it in Ocala. Okay, that gets us further north. I mean, now we got Orlando and Sarasota, and me in South Georgia. You're right; it was the east. Yeah. So from my position, it's southwest. Yeah. Wow, man, that's cool that we could triangulate this thing. Um, you was at exit 350 on the interstate 75. Just curious. Used to travel 75 a lot back in the day when I was going back. I grew up in Tampa, Florida, and so I used to travel 75 a lot, and trucking and so forth. Yeah. Um, I did. Thought I heard an elite boom for sure. Yeah, isn't that the coolest thing? That's why I jumped on here right now. I was like, man, what if somebody else saw it? Let me get on here and do a little hoot nanny about it, and see if anybody else. And we're basically triangulating this thing. So Tamara, it was still north of you. Just wondering, in Ocala, it was to your west. Oh. Joe says I'm looking for a video online. There has to be a sky cam that picked it up. Let's see. Tomorrow, if you were west of you and you were heading north, yeah. So heading north and west. You know what? I've been telling y'all the wrong thing. It's south southeast. I said south southwest. Oh my goodness, I've been telling y'all the wrong direction. It still triangulates out right, but I literally have been telling y'all a lie. I need to go back in there and maybe edit that. No, it was south southeast, and I said west. Shame on me. You saw it west of you tomorrow, which would have put it in a line with me and you. Well, so if you were north of Ocala and saw it, yeah, west of you, that'd put it east of me. Right. I got this right because I kept thinking, man, I've been telling y'all the wrong thing. It's south southeast of me. You saw it out of your peripheral vision. It was really bright, wasn't it? Joseph, I was going to say that maybe somebody in Valdosta, Georgia, Lake City, Gainesville, Florida, maybe a truck stop or something along there. Because if tomorrow's in Ocala, then Gainesville's north of there. And so it happened between Gainesville. Sounds like there's an area called Trenton. Um, anyway, Highway 27. But that's interesting, y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your input. Man, I got that wrong. It was to the southeast of me. Golly, that's west, that's east. Man, I got myself backwards on that. But yeah, that it still triangulates out right. But that would put it between me and the Florida line, and uh, it'd be interesting to find out if it was north of Gainesville. There's a lot of swampy area through there. South Perry, when you go towards Trenton, Cross City, uh, Chiefland, along down 19, Highway 19. But when you go to the east of that, there, it's just pretty kind of swampy and a lot of lowlands, paper property through there until you get towards the more of the center of the state. But 2 miles out in the Gulf on my boat off Sarasota, you saw it in the northeast. That would make it right, because I saw it in the southeast. Have a good night tomorrow. Thank you. That's interesting. We'll find out if anybody else heard, saw it, or whatever later on. But I just, I didn't have any plans for this video except that it's interesting that we can get on and wow, 4 people. We got triangulated that thing. My guess right now is that it was north of Gainesville. Now there is an airport there, but there wouldn't be anything like that big and bright to like blow up and leave a vapor trail the way it did. Yes, it was quick, but it was mighty green and wide in my opinion. So thank you all. I'm going to go back out here. I left my fire unattended, and I'm still Pamela. I've still got some really cool pictures of orbs and things I want to finish up on, but no way that came from space. Yeah, I don't think it came from outer space. But anyway, if I find a video, I'll send it to you. Thank you, Joseph. Absolutely. Wonderful, wonderful. Blessings to you all. I want to now, thanks, Greg. Be hanging out with y'all. Joseph, I noticed you just subscribed. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. I'm just an old hippie down here in the swamps of Georgia. And I got some video of some of the stuff I took down in the swamp, and I want to do an update on some of the wildlife that I didn't see down there. It was shocking. But anyway, blessings to you all. Keep it between the ditches. Keep an eye onto the skies, because there's some strange stuff out there. Thank you, Joseph. I like you too, man. I appreciate it. Y'all be safe. Thank you. Let's see, Joseph, you're in Ocala. Wait, I'm trying to work on my memory. Got to put my glasses back on. And thank you, Pamela, as always. Okay, tomorrow was in Ocala. Oh, Orlando. Joseph's in Orlando. Okay. And Greg, you're down, and you're down in Sarasota. Yeah, I got friends just north of there in Riverview. So, yeah, been around. All right, everybody. Thank you, John. Thank you. Good night from Athens, Greece. Oh my goodness, blessings to you, my friend. And watch out for them earthquakes over there. Y'all been getting some nasty ones. So thank you, John, from Athens, Greece. Blessings to everybody. Be safe, everybody, and continue to Orlando. I got you, Joseph. Thank you. And Greg, you're in around Sarasota. Blessings to all of you. I used to live around Kissimmee, Joseph, back in the day when it was just a trailer park. But but anyway, I live up here now. But blessings to you all. Be safe, everyone, and continue to share the core values that make us all have a cosmic hug. Continue to accept and receive the blessings, the healing. Oh, That wasn't a moth, by the way. I didn't see weird things in the air tonight. But blessings to all of you. Continue to accept and receive the blessings from the universe. They're always there. Always stay connected to the consciousness. Always stay connected to the quantum. Always stay connected to your angel self and to your higher self. So, with all of that, stay sweet, stay nice, stay compassionate, and keep your eyes to the sky. Who knows? We might get hit with a piece of space junk yet. Good night, everybody. Thank you, Greg, John, Pamela, Joseph. And if I miss somebody, till next time. Good night, all. I want to go watch the skies. And I left a fire unattended. So good night, everybody. Till next time. See you later. From South Georgia, Cosmic Sugs, TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Bye, y'all.